Things are shifting to digital rapidly, all around us. The more comfortable you are using digital tools, the better prepared you will be for the workplace. And it comes in handy. Everything from helping kids with school projects, group projects and activities, and helping other people who have questions. Hello and welcome to today's workshop, Get Productive with Google's Digital Tools. I'm Stasia, Lead Educator for Grow with Google, presenting from Google's Mountain View, California headquarters. Okay, let's assume you created or signed into your Google account. Now you can access Google Docs and other applications. Before I show you how to navigate the account, let's take a look at what's inside. If you look at the illustration on this slide, you see Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, Gmail, and other digital tools grouped under an icon labeled Google Drive. Drive is where you keep all your stuff. It allows you to store, access, and share files like documents, slideshows, forms, and photos all in one place. But instead of being stored on a computer, the files are stored in the cloud, a safe place on the internet. When you save something on your Google Drive, you can easily access it from any computer, smartphone, or tablet with internet access. Files stored on Google Drive won't get lost, even if your computer crashes, and the files that you make with Google's digital tools are automatically saved and stored. In other words, you don't have to remember to click Save. Why am I explaining Drive right now before I get to Docs? Because the docs that you create are saved here, and this is where you can get back to them later. Another important thing to point out here is that all of these tools are web-based. That means that there's no software that you need to buy or install on your computer. As long as you can access the internet and a web browser like Google Chrome, you can use these tools. If you want to learn more about using Drive, check out the Applied Digital Skills lesson titled Organize Files in Drive. It explains how to store, access, and share your files. Okay, now that you've signed into Google and you know where your files live in Google Drive, let's make a file with Google Docs. Docs is a word processing application. You can create a document from scratch or choose one of the many free templates, including resumes, letters, proposals, newsletters, reports, recipes, brochures, and more. The templates can be fully customized depending on how you want them to look and what you want them to say. MB found her dream job using Google Search, and now her next step is to apply. And to do that, she needs to create a resume and a cover letter. Let's see how to do it. Accessing Google Docs depends on where you're starting. You can enter the URL docs.google.com to get to the Google Docs home screen. Or if you're signed in and you see your Gmail inbox, look at the top right corner. Look for an icon with 9 gray dots. I always think of it as a Rubik's Cube when I see it. Clicking this icon will reveal a menu of the connected digital tools. And now you're looking for an icon labeled Docs to take you directly to the Docs home screen. You can do this from other places in Google too, including a search page. All you're doing is looking for that dotted icon. Now, if you're starting in your Google Drive, you can do the same, or you can just click the button labeled New at the top left corner. This is what you're seeing on the animated slide. This opens a menu of options, including Google Docs. So hover your cursor over Google Docs and then move it to the right over the arrow symbol. Now, another menu opens. You can click on Blank Document or From a Template. If you select From a Template, you are brought to the Template Gallery. They're sorted and grouped there by category, but you can choose any of these free templates. Look for the layout that best fits your needs and know that you can change anything and everything about it. It's just a place to start. Let's look at some things that you can do with Google Docs. I'm going to be demonstrating the creation of a resume, but these actions can be applied to any and every type of document. I will start with the basics. You can do all of these things in Google Sheets and Google Slides too. First, let's give your document a name. When you create a new doc, blank or from a template, the default name is Untitled Document. To give it a new name, simply click on the default name at the top left corner and you can change the text. That's called inline editing. Alternatively, you can click File, Rename, and type in the new name. Make the name descriptive. This will make it easier for you to find it later as you add more files to your Google Drive. Next, let's add some text. If you want to edit the placeholder text in the template, simply click on it and start typing. Or you can copy and paste over it. You can edit as much as you like, simply clicking on the places on the page that you want to change. If there are sections that you don't want, you can just delete them. You can change how the text looks. Highlight the text that you want to change. Then change the formatting with the Edit menu. You can experiment with options like changing the font style or the font size, the highlight color, alignment, line spacing. If you click Format from the top menu, you'll see more options, including additional text styles. Let's add an image. This template did not include a placeholder for an image, but that's okay. You can add as many as you like. Click in the general area where you want to place your image. You can move it later. Then, click the image icon from the top menu. It looks like two mountain peaks. Or click Insert Image. You can upload an image from your computer, select one from your drive, your photos, or the web, or you can insert a URL or access the camera if you have one on your device. You can then resize, crop, and add a margin. Adjust the color, the transparency, the brightness, and contrast. If you are collaborating with other people, maybe a friend is helping you edit your resume or a colleague is helping you to create a report, you can all access and edit the document simultaneously. It's great because you won't have to worry about versions. You can create one document and work on it together. In the document, click the button labeled Share at the top right corner. Then you can share the document by entering the other person's email address. Notice the pencil icon to the right. That means that you are giving that person the ability to edit the document. If you click the down arrow, you can change that access level to Can Comment or Can View. You can change these settings later. You just click Share again, choose Advanced at the bottom, and then you can make adjustments to who has access to the document. I just explained how to share a document, and you might be wondering what Can Comments actually means. It's just like it sounds. Collaborators can leave feedback, comments, on specific sections of the document. Here's how to do it. First, use your cursor to highlight the section that you want to point out. Then, click the plus icon in the menu, or go to Insert Comment. A box opens up on the side. That's where you type in the comment. A comment can simply be a note to self, or you could send it to another person, adding the plus symbol and then their email address in the comment. If it's a to-do item, you also have the option to check the box that says Assign to, and that would add it to the person in the comment. Working together on a shared document has advantages, but what if I accidentally deleted or overwrote Sadie's work? Whoops! Fortunately, there's a fix for that. You could click File, Version History, See Version History. Now you will see a list of the document versions by date and time and editor. You can preview what that document looked like on that iteration, and you can revert to it or make a copy of that version. You may have noticed that there's another useful option beneath version history labeled Name Current Version. So this is useful if you know that you may want to get back to a particular version, a particular iteration of that document later in time. And it makes it easier to find it in the version history if you give it a descriptive name. Okay, one last thing to show you before we move on, exporting the document into another format. There may be situations where you need to provide your resume or your document in another format. Click File, Download As, and you will see your options, including Microsoft Word and PDF. The file will save on your computer. Check the formatting to make sure everything looks good to go. Applied Digital Skills offers many lessons that cover Google Docs, including Start Your Resume, Edit Your Resume, Negotiate Your Salary, Effective Communications at Work, and more. When you search for lessons, you can filter by age group, late elementary through adult learners, apps, and topics, everything from coding to study skills. Let's move on to our next digital tool, Google Slides. You can use slides to make stunning presentations, just like the slides that you see accompanying this workshop. Slides can come in handy in a lot of situations, personal and professional. In fact, just a few weeks back, we heard from an adult education administrator at a state university in Colorado who works with resettled refugees. The students use applied digital skills to develop digital literacy. Here's how the students are using Google Slides. It's a quote. Quote, "These digital skills have enriched instructional delivery through activities that engage students in project development. The creation of a program-wide cultural cookbook involved learning how to write a recipe, including an ingredient amounts and cooking instructions, sharing the story of the recipe's significance to each contributor, and using Google Slides to produce a digital representation with images and personal style. The digital version was shared among participants and teaching staff, and then printed as a collection to celebrate this effort. Beyond this project, an additional do-it-yourself home improvement presentation, again with Google Slides, has built confidence among learners using this technology." How cool is that? You too can use slides in lots of creative ways. Going to a family reunion maybe, you can ask people to email their photos and create a slideshow presentation. Are you organizing an award ceremony? You can make a presentation that highlights the work that's been accomplished or the goals that have been achieved, the people involved, whatever it is that you want to communicate. And if you've been asked to present a report for a school project, you can show your findings. And this really did happen. You might even need to make a presentation to get a job. My friend MB, the job seeker, had a really unusual interview. She was asked to prepare a lesson about any topic and present it to a hiring committee. Her goal was to be as professional and creative as she could. She used digital tools to create slides to support her lesson, which was how to use chopsticks. For an added twist, she actually brought real chopsticks and Skittles so they could practice along with the slides presentation learning the new skill. Let's take a look at slides. In many ways, Google Slides is similar to Google Docs. You can do the things that we demonstrated in Docs, like adding and editing text and images, comments, version history, and more. But it has a few format-specific differences that I would like to point out. Just like Docs, accessing Google Slides depends on where you're starting. You can enter the URL slides.google.com to get directly to the Google Slides home screen. If you're signed into Google, you can look at the top right corner for that icon with the 9 gray dots and click it to reveal the menu of digital tools, and you'd be looking for the Slides icon. If you're starting in your Google Drive, click the button labeled New at the top left corner. That's where you see it on this animated slide. This opens a menu of options, including Google Slides. Now, hover your cursor over Google Slides and then move it to the right over the arrow symbol. Now another menu opens. You can click on Blank Presentation or From a Template to access the template gallery. Now let's look at some of the things that you can do with your presentation. First, you can select, change, or edit a theme. A theme is a preset group of colors, fonts, backgrounds, and layouts. If you created a blank presentation, you should see a menu of theme options that appears on the right side. You can select one if you wish. Now, if you don't see that panel of options, look at the top menu for Theme, or click Slide Change Theme to see the menu. You can also import other themes from other Google Slides presentations or from Microsoft PowerPoint presentations. Click on some of the default themes to see what's available. Now, if you wanted to make edits to the theme, you could edit the master slides. Click Slide, Edit Master, and you will see the templates applied to the different slides. For example, if you wanted to change a font across the entire presentation, edit the master slide and then apply it to the whole presentation. Next up, change a transition. A transition creates a visual effect when you advance to the next slide. To create one, click Insert Animation. You will see an edit panel appear on the right side of the page. You change transitions and animations here. The default transition is none, but you can select another effect and apply it to one or all of the slides. Want to see one in action? Let's add a cube transition. Okay, now you have a presentation with a theme you like. You've made edits to the master slide to update the template to look exactly like you want. And you have a transition. Let's look at the next tip, adding an animation. Animations make things move within your slide. For example, I can make the next line of text, add an animation, appear. Here's how to do it. Click Insert Animation to see the edit panel on the right. Click the object that you want to animate on the slide, and then click plus Add Animation. And now I can make that screenshot fade out or fade back in. You can also add a video into your slides presentation. Insert Video, and you'll see different options, including searching for a video on YouTube or pasting in the URL, or using a video file that's stored in your drive. When you're presenting the slides, you'll simply click to play the video right in the presentation. Last but not least, how do you actually show the finished product? On the screenshot, you see the working version, but if you were ready to present it to a group, you would click the button labeled Present at the top right corner. I'm running low on time, and we've just scratched the surface of Google's digital tools. I will wrap up today's workshop by introducing 3 additional digital tools: Google Sheets, Calendar, and Gmail. Rather than demonstrate all the capabilities within each app, I will show you how connected products can make your workflow more convenient and efficient. I'm using the job seeker example, but these tools are not just for job seekers. These digital tools can be used to accomplish all kinds of tasks. Think big, think creative. So back to our story, great news, MB landed her dream job. Now it's time to plan her party, and naturally she plans to use the digital tools to help her. Her plan was to start with Google Sheets and create a guest list and a to-do list and a shareable potluck sign-up. Next, she would finalize all of the details about the event and then create the event on Google Calendar. And then third, she would invite all of her friends using Gmail. Google Sheets is Google's spreadsheet app. To access Sheets, visit sheets.google.com to go directly to the Sheets home screen. If you're signed into Google, look at the top right corner for the icon with 9 gray dots. If you click on it, again, it reveals that menu of digital tools, and you're looking for the icon labeled Sheets. If you're starting from Google Drive, click the button labeled New at the top right corner. This opens a menu of options, including Google Sheets. Hover your cursor over Google Sheets and then move it to the right over the arrow symbol. Now, another menu opens. You can click on Blank Spreadsheet or From a Template. If you select From a Template, you are brought to the Template gallery. Sheets templates include options like budgets, attendance records, calendars, lists, schedules, and more. MB used Sheets to create a potluck sign-up. She wanted to give all of her guests access, so she clicked Share and went to the section labeled Who Has Access. The default is private, only you can access. So she changed that to On, Anyone with the link, and she made the access to Can Edit. Now what that means is now everyone who has the link to this spreadsheet can make edits, and they don't need to sign into Google to do that. All right, the next step is to create the event. MB used Google Calendar to create the event. To access the calendar, visit calendar.google.com, or you can click that gray dot icon if you're already signed into Google. Click the Create button at the top left and enter the basic event details. By including an address, guests can also click on it to get driving directions. And if you click the link labeled More Options, you'll be able to add even more to this event, like event reminders, which are called notifications. On the description, click the paperclip icon to attach a document. You can upload something from your computer, or you can find something that's in your Google Drive. For example, MB just made that potluck spreadsheet, so now she can search for it, another reason to use a descriptive title, and then attach it to her event. Last but not least, she wants to invite her friends. So she types in or copies and pastes their email addresses into the guests section on the right. When she saves this event, she will see a box that asks, "Would you like to send invitation emails to Google Calendar guests?" Clicking that will automatically email all of the people on that guest list with information about the event. This email is powered by Gmail, our next digital tool. The email invitation is sent with Gmail, but the guests do not have to use Gmail to see the invitation. In fact, any email program will work. This screenshot shows what the email would look like. It displays all the important details entered when the event was created. If you look closely at the email, you'll see 3 buttons with RSVP options: yes, maybe, and no. Guests can immediately RSVP by clicking one of these buttons. The RSVP status is automatically updated in the calendar event, which is handy for MB because she needs to know how many people to expect at her party. If you attached a file to the event, in this example, the potluck sheet, it will be sent with the email too. Gmail is the last digital tool I will mention in today's session. It's part of a Google account. When you sign into Google, you may see Gmail as the first screen. You can also access it by visiting mail.google.com or clicking that gray dot icon and looking for the Gmail icon. This free consumer version of Gmail will include @gmail.com as part of the address. If you use G Suite, the business version of these tools, you have the option to use the domain name associated with your website. For example, instead of the email address being stasiasbakery@gmail.com, the address might be stasia@stasiasbakery.com. Want to learn more about all this? Applied Digital Skills offers a lesson titled Plan an Event. There's also a set of lessons titled G Suite Certification. They cover Drive, Docs, Slides, Sheets, Gmail, and more. The lessons are designed to help people prepare for the G Suite certification exam. G Suite certification proves your ability to complete common workplace activities like using cloud-based tools to create and share documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and files. You can take the free lessons to learn about the tools, and you're not obligated to take the exam. As of today's workshop, the registration fee for the exam is $75 US. Let's quickly show you how we did this with the digital tools. First, we created a spreadsheet with Google Sheets. We selected a template, changed it to include the information that MB needed for the potluck sign-up, and made the sheet accessible to all. Second, we visited Google Calendar, created an event, and attached the potluck spreadsheet. And finally, we sent the invitation using Gmail. When guests opened the email invitation, they could RSVP, and that would automatically update in Calendar. Okay, let's recap. Things are shifting to digital rapidly, all around us. The more comfortable you are using digital tools, the better prepared you will be for the workplace. And it comes in handy. Everything from helping kids with school projects, group projects and activities, and helping other people who have questions. We started the workshop talking about Google Search. If you haven't tried an advanced search, check it out and see if it makes it easier to find the information that you're looking for. You can also try using an advanced search operator. And if you're looking for a job or looking to hire some people for your company, check out the job search feature. Next, try Google Docs to see how polished your communications can look. The template gallery is a great place to start for creating a professional document. Slides, Google's presentation tool, can help you present ideas in a slick format. And last but not least, Sheets, Calendar, and Gmail helped us plan, organize, and share an event. We hope that this section demonstrated the efficiencies that you can experience once you start using the tools all together.